Then, when I look at crime, we look at the taxes, we look at all of this. One of the things that really concerns me, Jody, quite frankly, since you're sitting here and you get this, when we talk about all these issues and we have all these little inside, at home, at the kitchen table conversations, one of the things is that we don't vote. So we have this whole dialogue. Apparently, it must not be important to the
I vote.
citizens. Well, it must not be important to the citizens of Baltimore if we're only talking about a city that's predominantly, allegedly,
People voted
predominantly
for
black,
Obama. I
and
saw
it's only
everybody in
45,
line.
and only 45% of the people are voting. So if you're not registered, if you're not voting, then why do you even have a stake at it? There shouldn't be anybody who has this conversation that deals with this. But Jody, one of the things that I want to know is where are you on education? Because part of crime is people who are unemployed.
And part of crime is a failure of the education system. There's no question. And that has to be improved. I don't think we've had an intense focus on education and education funding
Oh, but
for
I thought
years.
Alonzo was doing a great job. I mean, I'm confused.
Well,
Is Alonzo doing a good
I
job
think
or not?
he's taking some right steps, but that doesn't mean we can't do more. Now, I'm a little confused about what's happening recently. Seems to me you get rid of seasoned teachers, experienced teachers, you're taking a step back. So, but I'm not him, and I'm not sure what's driving that, to tell you the
But
truth.
what would
But
you do?
I'm very concerned.
What would you do?
Would he stay there under Landers administration?
Well, what I would do is I would be meeting with the superintendent and the key superintendent staff at least
I'll
on
be meeting with him at the
on a
unemployment
weekly
line.
no on a weekly basis to say what can we do, what do we need to do to work together. This is not, the quality of life in the schools, incidentally, have a big role in playing in attracting people into the city and choosing what neighborhood they live in.
60 is passing.
We have we
As
the,
a mother, I think he's horrible. Alonzo's
one of the
awful.
reasons we have 47,000 vacant housing units is because people have lost confidence, not just in the police and the crime fighting, but in the school system
They
as well.
taking people's houses for water bills.
So anyway, we need to have an intense focus on education. That's got to be part of solving this
What would you
problem
think
with
the
the
three
city.
top three things are from an educational standpoint that need to change and that you would do as a mayor?
First thing is attendance. We need to put an intense focus on making sure kids are in school. If they're not in school, they're not learning, the system's failing. So every day, if kids aren't in school, there should be somebody going to the house or calling the house, getting kids in school. That's number one. The other thing is we got to focus on the dropout rate. It's completely unacceptable that half of the young people that enter high school do not finish high school.
Mr. Landers, during the last election, it was brought out by the governor that, well, it was brought out by the school system during the governor's election that the dropout rate had reduced. And I was wondering, why did they make that statement during the election year? Because, pardon me, I'm a conspiracy theorist and I just viewed it as a stunt.
Well, here's the irony. We live in a state that is ranked number one in the nation in terms of its school system.
Not
But
Baltimore
that's
City,
not,
not
but
Prince
that
George's
isn't,
County.
that isn't uniform. No, I'm saying at the statewide level. So why should it be acceptable to have a school system in Baltimore City that's failing so many children? I mean, we've
The
got to
veteran
make some
teachers are
demands.
intimidated.
Absolutely. But anyway, I think that one of the problems with the city school system that I've seen is you've had a whole series of chief executive officers who've pretty much been detached from the city school system.
So we don't know what to believe. I think it's a lot of lies. You keep telling me our kids doing good, but they building new prisons and no new schools. I mean, I can tell very much that's not love. If you love me, you give me flowers, you give me chocolate. You don't give me penitentiaries.
But that's a prison industrial complex. How would you deal with that, Jody?
I'm sorry. What?
The prison industrial complex has taken over basically the role of educational institutions. How would you deal with that in the city?
Well, in some ways, that's one of the other tragedies for the city. I know as I've been going out campaigning, I've been talking to young men who spend a number of years in prison. They've gotten some training, they've gotten some education, they want to go straight, they can't get a job.